all of that stuff. Now, fortunately, I was not born with that gene, which is the main reason none of you have ever been invited to my house for any parties or functions or events. And Maggie recently moved out, and I said, darling, sweetheart, it's been great, but you're not invited back. But it was fun. It was fun. Now, the party planning gene also runs big time on the Solis side, and specifically with my primos on Hatton Street. And yes, exactly. The girls and I love to go to their Super Bowl parties, and the food is unbelievable. In fact, we were recently there, and as I was having the amazing food, I had a special guest appear, and let's put the shirt, please. My apologies. You're not going to believe this. On Hatton Street, Maggie showed them, the Virgen de Guadalupe showed up. And I said, Holy Mother, thank you for being here. And Holy Mother said, tell me, what do you think about, hello? What do you think about Ernie's bacon-wrapped poppers? Aren't they great? I said, what about Javi's ribs? I said, they are divine. And since the Virgen was there, I said, how is Jesus? How's everything? And I said, you know, I've been praying to him about my property tax situation, and I haven't really heard anything. And he said, well, he's been busy with famine, climate change, and the thing in Ukraine. And I said, okay, well, what can I do? So, but before he left, I said, you know, Virgen, my cousin Raul and my prima Rachel, their numbers are hitting, and my car payment is coming up, and if you could help me with the spread for the fourth quarter, I'll share the numbers with Diana. And the Virgen said, ask and you shall receive. But you need to explain why you have not been to church in 20 years. Now, I was told that there's 105 people here this evening, but there's actually 8 more souls joining us this evening. So, I have a picture here of my Tío Raúl and my Tia Gloria, and they were the ultimate party people at these Super Bowl parties. And a round of applause. Yeah. And my Tia Gloria taught me the most beautiful way to say I love you in the Latino vernacular. And when I would walk in, she would see me and say, Mijo, come on in, grab a plate. Like, can you think of a better way of saying I love you? I can't. And my Tío Raúl and my father shared many characteristics, and one of them was, in many ways, I was thinking about this, they were like oak trees, right? Solid, firm, dependable, but rooted in this deep love for family. I mean, super, super deep. And what Tío Raúl would do at these Super Bowl parties is he would come over and he would see me as I was about 90% finished, and he would always ask me about my parents. He would tell me how great the girls were doing. And then he would say, you know, Ernie just came in with his lobster thing, and I think it's time for another plate. And I said, Theo, I think you're right. Now, the other person joining us from above is my primo, David. And I have a weird theory about David. My theory is that he saw what a great time we were having. He said, we really need a good party planner up in heaven. And he called him up, right? Yeah. A round of applause for David. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to pass this picture around. So if you need a physical representation of those two joining us, here it is. So this evening I wanted to talk about 3 specific reasons my father is so beloved by us in his circle. And the first one has to do with him always being there for us. And the best example I can give is his amazing help with Maggie and Melanie when they were in high school with their trigonometry and their calculus, and he just helped them over and over again. He would give them rides to school. He was the original Uber Tata. And there was, I remember one story where Melanie had to learn this mathematical problem, and she did it longhand, right? He taught her how to do it longhand. The next day she went to school and she found out that you could actually use a calculator, but she had learned it the long way of doing it, and she didn't have a calculator, so she passed with a great grade. And it was his determination helping them via text and everything else that made this happen. So he has always been there for us. And the second gene I was not born with is the math gene, okay? Unfortunately, I don't have it, and it actually runs on the Villarreal side. Where's my cousin Monica? Where is she? There she is. About 3 months ago, I was talking to Monica. She says, "Oh my God, I love math. In high school, I love math and everything else." And it's no surprise, she just moved back from Houston after living there 22 years. She's with Benchmark Realty and Benchmark Mortgage. And as a result of you being here, all of you are pre-qualified on her 80th birthday for $800,000 loans. Okay? And she'll be helping you with your apps by the pool. And don't worry about, you're going to give them a good interest rate? Good. And don't worry about the down payment, as they say in Spanish. Mi mija sabe cómo usar la computadora. Más picas unos botones. Now, some of you may be wondering, I think it's a fair question, Joe, why didn't you help your daughters with their math, with their calculus, with their trigonometry? And I asked Melanie, and I said, "Melanie, can I help you with it?" And she said, "Yes, Daddy, I would love that, but I really want to graduate from high school." So, but it was a very challenging situation for the girls, for Melanie and Maggie, because they had to decide which person was going to mentor them. So they looked at my qualification. They said, okay, it took Dad 3 years to get out of San Antonio College. Number two, he has a business management degree. And for the young people here, that's equivalent to having a 7th century Catalan poetry degree. It's worthless. And they had to compare my qualifications against my father, and they said he was a valedictorian of his high school, number one. Yeah. Number two, he has a master's degree in aerospace engineering from Texas A&M. And number three, he was an aerospace engineer for General Dynamics in Fort Worth. So, like, the qualifications are very equal. But they decided to go with their father, my father, thank God. And so, once again, it was his passion for teaching his daughters, granddaughters, math. And think about that, at 75, knowing trigonometry, knowing calculus, that is hardcore stuff. But these girls aced it. Now, number two, I wanted to share with you the second reason he is so beloved by all of us. And I have a picture here of, again, two more people joining us from above. The first person would be my Tia Beba and my Tia Lucy. Their children are here, thank God. Louder, a little louder. And you can pass that around, please. Now, several years ago, when I would visit my parents, and they actually invited me to their home, so unlike their son, right? And when I would go over there, I would always see envelopes addressed to the two of them. And in their later years, he was helping them. And this is a man on Social Security, and he was still sending them money. Now, my Tia Lucy was all about helping people. At church, at school, her philosophy was, how do we give? How do I help mankind continuously? And the same story with my Tia Beba, right? And I was in Europe for 9 months in 1993, and in 3 of those months I was in Granada, and my Tia Beba sent me 6 handwritten letters to me in Spain. And in these letters that I have here, these are the original letters, she talks about taking care of her grandchildren, talking about taking care of Curtis and Michelle, but she found the time to help me. Now, after I came back, I taught a citizenship course at a Westside Community Center, and I would have dinner with Tia Beba at Jim's, where she was a server. Same story. In these letters, in her life, it was all about giving, being there for others, and just having a passion for other people. So I thought to myself, it's only appropriate that in their later years, when they needed help, my father showed the same type of compassion and love for them. So let me go and talk about two more individuals. If you can pass me that picture, Melanie. Now, I have a picture here. If you can hold it real quick, baby girl. This is my Tio Pancho and my Tia Grace, who are also joining us this evening. Now, the two of them, amazing individuals, right? And my Tio Pancho taught me a huge lesson in life. And for some reason, he said, "Hey, Joey, let's go to Foley's." I said, "Okay, let's go to Foley's." So we went to Foley's, and he was like a robot. He was amazing. He knew all of the 90% off sections, 75% off sections, and we walked out with 4 bags. And he said, "Joey, I'm going to show you something." He opens his trunk, and he had 40 bags of stuff. And what he told me is, "I'm always ready for a birthday, an anniversary, any function that comes up, I'm 100% ready." And in 2023, if you were to visit my house, but you're not going to visit because I'm not going to invite you, I literally have 2 years of gifts for these 2 girls, right? And it was Tio Pancho who taught me that. Now, what's the importance of that story? And listen to me, I'm starting to sound like a Jewish rabbi, right? The importance of that story is, just like my father, Tio Pancho didn't tell me, "These are pants for me, these are slacks for me, these are boots for me." He was all about giving. These were things for other people. That was his life. Now, he also had a very compassionate style, and he was compassionate with people. Now, I don't know when you were running, I don't know if my cousin Primo, Juan Solis III, I don't know if you were running for city council or state rep, but I was campaigning for you with your father. You had a big bus. And I thought, well, I feel really strange about this, and I think I need to come out to him politically. And I said, "Tio Pancho."
Little hesitation there.
Several years ago, I went to the dark side, and I explained, I said, "I'm still going to help Juan, I'm still on the bus." And he said, "Joey, in spite of all that, we still love you." Again, compassion, giving, that's what he was all about. Now, I have another picture. This is a picture of my godparents. This is Tio Neto, my Tia Carmen, and this picture actually has Tio Rene, but Tio Rene, don't worry.
Yeah, you're not there yet.
Yeah.
Hey.
There he is. Yeah. But my dad did get an email from Dr. Figueroa, and he wants you to call Monday. I'm just kidding. So, Tio Neto, what an unbelievable human being, right? So when I made the transition out of the jewelry business after 22 years, I was able to be mentored by my Tio Neto. And he was in the life insurance business, and he said, "Joey, I want you to contact this company. I'm going to get you appointed with this company. I'm going to hook you up with this company. I'm going to tell you about all this other stuff." Every 4 weeks he would call me. He would mail stuff. He was not an email guy. And he was always looking out for me, right? And it's hard to believe, but just a few months ago, I found out that my long-term care health insurance plan that he encouraged me to buy is paid up. It's paid up. So girls, you don't have to change me when your father's an old man. Just make sure that you hire pretty nurses. Now I have to say one thing about the math thing. One of the things that you feel insecure, right? You can't teach them math, so maybe I can teach them some life lessons. And what we would do, this is actually a true story, by the way. What we would do is we'd go to North Star Mall, and I would tell the girls, I says, "We're going to have a life lesson today." I said, "We can't afford SeaWorld tickets, but we can do this." So what we would do is, because I'd been in the jewelry business for 22 years, I would walk into a jewelry store with Maggie. I'd walk up to the $10,000 bracelet. I'd say, "Oh my God, that bracelet is so beautiful." And Maggie would stay right by me. And we would just wait for those magic words. And the magic words were, "Hello, welcome to Hertzberg Jewelers. Isn't that a beautiful diamond bracelet? Your wife would love it." And Maggie would walk up and say,
My daddy's divorced.
And of course, the lady would turn red and we'd start laughing. And I think we got away with it 3 times at one mall. I mean, it was so bad. Now, the following week, we couldn't do it because Child Protective Services was called. And I said, she wants to be an actress. She's just having fun. And so, you know, that was like a little life lesson. And Maggie, why do we not assume in life?
Because you make an ass out of you and me.
There you go. So if you can't teach them math, teach them a life lesson. There you go. There you go. So Tio Neto was an amazing mentor, but he also shared my father's passion for laughter. And the following story